Good morning. So nice to have you watching 3+U again today. It's always a nice way to greet you as we begin the show. And if you are like me and you stepped out of your house this morning and thought, wow, what a gorgeous day. Fall is on its way, loving the weather and the feeling of the change of seasons. That brings with it a lot of joy, but it can bring with it some changes in the way we approach maybe your skin care, your health care, maybe you have seasonal allergies, that kind of thing. So lucky for us, Bill Emmendorfer is here with Norspring Center for Rejuvenation. Good to see you.
Julie, it's always good to be with you.
Y'all are going to be very busy. You always are very busy at Norspring, but part of the fall season means football season. Tracks back, cross country, athletes out and about will have injuries. Your cryotherapy that you have there has been beneficial for a lot of folks.
It really has, and fall's a busy time because kids are back in school and sports. We do a lot of things with UTC, with their football program, and we're doing a lot of things with their women's soccer program currently. And then the high school programs are all getting into full swing. And as these kids come in fact, we had 4 kids from one high school scheduled at 7:30 this morning.
Was that for the cryo chamber?
For the cryo chamber.
So, we never quite know where our conversations are going to go, and we don't have a ton of time this morning. But when you say things like, you work with UTC and their athletic department, that's a pretty big endorsement, Bill.
Well, interestingly enough, we're able to provide a lot of the services that the major universities have on site, and the high schools and places like UTC and the high schools can take advantage of it. Recently, we put in red light, pulse electromagnetic therapy, and hyperbaric oxygen and cryotherapy, all at the University of Georgia in their $100 million facility. And we just got through putting cryotherapy in the University of Florida's
Y'all
facility.
did it.
We did it.
Wow.
And so we have all that at Norspring. So basically, these high schools and UTC can enjoy a lot of the benefits that these major universities are doing in their state-of-the-art facilities.
I want to make sure we hit things, so I'm going to kind of push us a little bit, okay? Because it's a different way of looking at things. If you're in Bill's world, or if you're an athletic director, you know all this stuff. If you're just living at your house in the suburbs of Chattanooga, you don't even realize how cutting edge this can be and how it can apply to someone in their everyday walk. So the cryotherapy is beneficial, you have found, with inflammation and other things. You don't promise this across the board, but you are seeing people come in and they're finding benefit with long COVID symptoms by using the cryotherapy.
That's
right?
Correct. That's some studies out of Europe, particularly a case study out of Italy. And what we found is a lot of the symptoms of long COVID are inflammatory in nature. And the cryotherapy works with the inflammation. I have several patients right now that have had symptoms that have not been able to find relief. And the cryotherapy has been most beneficial to them in dealing with smell and taste and some other things like lethargy and some other things they get from long COVID. And, we minimize what's going on with long COVID and that sort of thing, but to some people it's just been devastating. And we just want to try to help them. We're not going to cure them, but we can help them, and it gets them to another level of being able to function.
You kind of pride yourself, and rightly so, I'll say it this way, and you have enough there under one roof to allow people to almost one-stop shop it, and your team works together. So the cryo is one thing. Not everyone is quite, they feel, brave enough to do it off the bat. So you talked about the red light. You use that in lots of ways. You use it from helping with acne issues. You're finding it's helpful for fibromyalgia. How is that?
Well, the way red light waves penetrate your skin at different levels, or penetrate your body at different levels, and it does everything from acne to wrinkles to aging. But then the near red light penetrates deep into tissue, to bone and organs. And what we found is that people that have fibromyalgia tend to have more energy and just generally feel better, because as the mitochondria in the cell functions better, the cell functions better, thus they function better.
Okay.
And so, it's a lot of this is we've done a lot of research and a lot of reading, And we're not curing things, but most of these diseases like long COVID and fibromyalgia and some of these things are learning to live with them and how to have the best quality of life you can have,
right,
given the conditions you have to deal with.
Right. You also, it's just like if you go shopping someplace, maybe you go in for one thing in particular, but you see other things that catch your eye and you think, oh, I'll come back later and maybe purchase that. When you come into Norspring, some people come to you for the first time because they want just a facial and to feel good. They leave discovering that it was a different kind of facial because there's just so much training that your staff has that might not be other places.
Julie, I guess one of the greatest blessings we have is a phenomenal staff. And then we're about to expand. You know, right now, of course, construction's crazy, and so, you know, this is a project I kept saying is going to be 6 months, and hopefully it's going to be 6 months, but we're going to add some other services, and the things that we do work so well on just helping people to feel good and to deal with conditions in a non-conventional way, to work with our health providers, our physicians, and other providers to enhance the services that they're given and to make people feel better.
We've got about a minute and a half left. We are on the cusp of cold and flu season. When you first come into Norspring, if I'm remembering to the right, there's this cute little room where you do your IV hydration. That's, people often come to you for like B12 energy, right? But also boosting your immune system.
There's immune boost, there's energy, there's things to deal with other issues, and yes, we do IV hydration, acupuncture. We have the best acupuncturist probably in this part of the country. He deals with Olympic athletes, and so we've got a lot of services, and we're adding new services. We just added a new thing this week, and more new stuff is coming in the next couple months.
You are on the south side of Chattanooga, so I mentioned the suburbs. We have got like 45 seconds. If people call the office and they get there, you're going to get a real person on the other end of the phone. They can just kind of talk about what their issue is, and then y'all will kind of guide them towards the right appointment?
That's exactly right, because it's not one size fits all. We try to customize treatments to deal with it, with the specifics of that individual.
It's always good to see you.
Julie, it's great being with you.
Thank you so very much. So you can enjoy the beauty of fall, and if it presents you with any difficulties along the way, maybe they can help you at Norspring. Their website is norspring.com. The phone number is 682-8674. Really and truly, it's kind of one of those, you have to see it to believe it, but once you experience it, all of your friends are going to say, tell me more. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Julie.